just so everybody is aware, military, police, sheriffs, anyone who fires on fellow citizens to me is an absolute disgusting traitor. You're a traitor to your country, your countrymen, and God. And I'm going to tell you, you've got Boehner waging war at the Tea Party. You've got Hagel I mean, it is just absolutely sickening, don't you think, Steve?
I go one step further. I would change the terminology since they want to redefine language. Let me redefine it. Gun grabbers are life takers, okay? See, Sheila, this is something that's interesting. Here's what we have to make the transition. By the grace of God today, we will. It's not about the guns. It's about the people and the mindset who possess the will to resist the power of the state. So I will not use, and sometimes I make these statements, but I'm going to try and retrain my brain here, but gun grabbers are life takers, okay? They are future destroyers. I have no words of contempt that are strong enough to express my exasperation. Well, I do, but I'm trying to, I'm praying that the Lord will take control of my mouth, and I'll get in control of my mouth. But here's the thing. What does it take? No, I'm serious. What does it take for the American people to understand that we are in the target to be destroyed? You see, one thing is your property, Good night. Here's how the thought goes, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. You take a guy's guns, and let's say he turns in 10. You don't know that he doesn't have 11 or 12 buried out in the back 40 or something. You take him out, who cares where his guns are? And that's what people are failing to see. What I'm saying, we have to change the focus of the argument. I saw for the first time today on Alex Jones's website, where somebody, I think in the military, finally broke what I've been saying. And it's not that whoopee I've been saying it. It's that up until this point, up until Connecticut, up until Maryland, up until Canada, I don't know if you know this, but the Royal Canadian Mounted Police just unanimously voted that a certain class of firearms, assault rifles, specifically Swiss, I think they're the AMTs, that they're no longer legal, okay? Well, those guys don't have that kind of law, or do they? What I will share with you is this. The law of the jungle is going to be enforced. And I can tell you point blank from being on talk radio for 20-some years, 23 I think, and following the clandestine weapons that came into this country and being, exposed to some phenomenal intel years ago, people can't even begin to imagine. And you never hear anything. Have you ever noticed that you don't hear of major, maybe once in a while, but outside of drug gang busts, you don't hear of any busts now being made in the different gang communities, Because they've been given a get-out-of-free-jail card. They've been given their weapons. And see, this is what I'm trying to plead. And I even called Romy today, my intercessor friend and dear intercessor friend. And I said, Romy, you've got to pray because I've got to be able to communicate today beyond anything I've ever been able to communicate. Greg has, and Greg, you're covered in this one too. We have to get across to the people of this country that the mindset is not to take away their stuff, but to take them away. Now, I want everybody to go to my website, Sheila, and I'm going to turn it over to Greg, and read the alert I posted from a very astute individual who read the white paper on United Nations disarmament in the United States. This one, and I'm going to say this one infuriated me into another galaxy, okay? Because they're not only talking about taking the gun owners, they're talking about, are you ready for this? Genetically cleansing all of the progeny of any gun owner. They want to do away, and these are psychos, okay? These are demonically infused, Luciferian-empowered psychos. They want to kill the kids of the gun owners, and they want to take away everything. And what Greg is saying about that 91-year-old man, God bless him. And I mean this, God bless him. But ladies and gentlemen, this is no longer just a political argument about guns. Greg, Sheila, we must articulate by the grace of Almighty God, by the opening up of people's eyes and hearts, it's not their stuff that's in the take zone, it's their lives. And so I want to say this, will you look at that bastard, and I'm sorry, that to me, I'm going to define bastard. Bastard to me is, as God of heaven defined it, is that when the fallen angels produced offspring by way of earthwomen, God called them bastards. They carried a different seed. And when I'm saying this, that they're saying they're going to kill me and make sure I am no longer on the planet. They're going to kill my family, my lineage, your family, your lineage. See, that's where the argument has to be. So until that argument makes the transition, it's not about guns. It's about life. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, thank you, Steve. And that was very articulate. I always appreciate hearing your take on this because mine is so rooted in the tactical aspect of both military and police work that I sometimes have to catch myself, Sheila, because it comes down to, all right, if I describe this to you, will not that you can't intellectually get this, but emotionally, can you grasp what I'm saying here? And I say that with all due respect to you and Steve both, because what I'm about to tell you comes from my own experience on tactical law enforcement teams, military, and so forth, and I will tell you that the men and women that are being recruited for these positions are those that have passed the test of orders are paramount. You will do what we tell you when we tell you to do it. Does Nuremberg come to mind? But it doesn't matter because these men and women have come from a training mindset in state police and local police academies that says it is an us against them mentality. We are going out into a world where when the red lists are executed, literally as well as figuratively, that they will come in force, at least teams of 24 that will surround a building or a house. There will be no escape. There will be no one that comes out of there. The slightest resistance will be met with lethal force. In fact, the plan in some cases has been, and this has been articulated to me, that when the door opens, the gun owner or the respondent is shot dead. They are shot dead because that way they cannot protest what took place at the door. And they will enter, they will confiscate if they have time. If they don't, they will simply make note of it and a follow-up team will come through and take whatever is in the house that they deem that they will take. And so you've got this kind of mindset now in departments of all sizes, all communities. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting out there thinking that I live in a rural area and that I'm in a state that is known for its decency towards its citizens and we don't have these issues, then you are not dealing with today's reality. Please forgive me, but that is reality. And so with that, Sheila and Steve, it gives you just an opening salvo here, if you will, forgive my pun, but for what we are looking for today. How will this evolve? It will come as a door-to-door, just as we have said and speculated about for years. It will be lethal. It will be final. There will be and move on to the next target. That's what will happen. That's why the American people will not be ready for this except for a handful that are preparing for this very kind of assault, and they may have success, but it will be under those auspices along with foreign troops that have no compunction whatsoever against doing whatever they're told, wherever they're told to do it, and however they're told to do it. They will execute, and that is what is coming.